Guys, I still can't believe that this is real. I woke up this morning thinking it was all a dream, right? No way the Packers actually did this. But the Packers did do this. The Green Bay Packers traded for Micah freaking Parsons yesterday. I mean, I'm at a loss for words at how massive of a trade this is for the Green Bay Packers. And of course, I was away yesterday, and the moment I got to where I was going, that's exactly when the Green Bay Packers announced this trade for Micah Parsons. So all yesterday, last night, I couldn't stop thinking about how actually insane this is. And I just got done making a video yesterday explaining my thoughts on the Micah Parsons trade rumors and that there was some buzz with this. I didn't expect it to happen that same day. I didn't even expect this trade to happen overall. And man, I am so glad I am wrong. So I wanted to come on here, give my thoughts, reaction, and also break down the entire trade and what this means for the Green Bay Packers. I mean, guys, this is the biggest trade in Green Bay Packers history. I mean, you could consider the Brett Favre trade a big one, but in terms of compensation and money paid out to the player, this is the biggest trade. This is absolutely insane, right? Every single year we go through, will the Packers trade for this star player? And every year we're let down. And that's why I was saying, I'll see it when I believe it. But now I believe it because we see it. Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. That still feels so crazy to say. The report was put out yesterday by Adam Schefter, ESPN sources. Cowboys are trading three-time All-Pro Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. When this popped up, I think I checked this Adam Schefter account 4 or 5 times to make sure it wasn't one of those troll ones. And I still kept doing it like, no, this has to be a troll. This has to be a joke. Like, there's no way this actually just happened. Parsons and the Packers have already reached an agreement on a 4-year, $188 million contract. David Mulugheta of Athletes First had a hand in the trade and ultimately negotiating the record-breaking contract that includes $120 million fully guaranteed at signing and makes Parsons the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Man, Mulugheta has made a good amount of money from the Green Bay Packers now with Micah Parsons and Jordan Love, that's for sure. I was actually live away from my house when this happened, and I first heard the trade. Then I was thinking, hey, what is the compensation? Because we kept hearing it's going to be like the Khalil Mack trade, or could be more than the Khalil Mack trade, which was 2 firsts, a second, I think a fourth, and I expected it to be something similar to that. And then we got the information that it's 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. I think this is honestly highway robbery that the Green Bay Packers got away with. And first, I want to touch up on Kenny Clark leaving. Man, I hope him the best. Kenny Clark has done so much for this football team. Clark was on the team for 9 years, being one of the youngest players drafted, still only 29 years old. But the fact that the Packers got away with just sending 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark for Micah Parsons is absolutely insane. Kenny Clark's almost 30 years old. Micah Parsons is 26 years old in his prime, and he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. The fact that the Packers only had to give up these 3 things, and on top of paying Micah Parsons, which is totally fine, and Jerry Jones is an absolute idiot for not actually paying him what he deserved, mind you, this is highway robbery. I expected the Packers have to give up more. I expected them maybe even having to give up Rashawn Gary 2 first rounds and a middle round pick. And all credit to Kenny Clark. But guys, let's face it. Clark had a down year last year, and given he was injured. And I have the utmost respect for Kenny Clark, and I hope he does very well in Dallas, except for week 4 against the Green Bay Packers. And that game is gonna be electric. And what makes this even crazier for the Cowboys, and I feel for you guys, Cowboys fans, if you're tuning into this video, I would be very upset, and I get it. I mean, Jerry Jones, he's got to go. But Jane Slater spoke with Parsons and says he's genuinely going to miss y'all, the Cowboys. He says his team went back to the Cowboys about an extension with empathy when the trade interest was leaked this week. The Cowboys' response, according to Parsons, was play on the 5th-year option or leave. That is absolutely insane. That is malpractice by the Cowboys front office. That is insane. And I'm so glad that it was, because now Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. Now let's quickly break down the contract. Now, the full details haven't come out, so we only know a little bit of it. Obviously, we know the basis of the contract, but we all know Russ Ball, and I still think this is going to be a well-worked-out contract where in a couple of years we're like, okay, that's an absolute steal. I know it's a lot of money. 4 years, $188 million, an average salary of $47 million per year, guaranteed at signing, $120 million. Total guarantees, $136 million. But what some people are not understanding is this is an addition to his 2025 option year. So his cap hit this season is at $21.3 million. And when you add on the additional 4 years at $188 million, it really then turns into a 5-year contract, and the average is at $41.86 million average per year. That's only $860,000 more per year than TJ Watt just got, who's 30 years old. So not only did the Packers absolutely steal Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys, but they financially did a great job with this as well. I know from the surface this looks absolutely insane, but it's worth it. For Micah Parsons to be on this defense with now on that defensive line, Rashawn Gary, Devontae Wyatt, Carl Brooks, Lucas Van Ness, Enigbare, Brenton Cox Jr. I mean, the Packers defensive line has the potential to be the best in the NFL this year, and that's not even overstating it. Just think about it. Now that Micah Parsons is on the Green Bay Packers, Rashawn Gary is really never going to be double teamed. And if he is, that's that team's fault, because then Micah Parsons will likely not be double teamed. All the other guys are going to eat because Micah Parsons is on the field. And it's not going to stop Micah either. He's been in the league only 4 years and has 52.5 sacks. The crazy part about that, 4 years in the league, he's already top 10 in Green Bay Packers total sack numbers since sacks were being recorded. And now that he's with the Green Bay Packers for the next 5 years and hopefully even longer than that, I mean, Micah Parsons is going to end up being the sack leader of the Green Bay Packers history over Clay Matthews at 83.5 sacks. He's already at 52.5 in 4 seasons. I mean, it's just absolutely unreal that the Packers actually pulled this off. I think all of us were sitting here going, yeah, it sounds awesome, but no way it's going to happen. There's no way the Packers are actually going to pull something like that off. And they did. This year has felt so un-Packers-like. Drafting a receiver in the first round at pick 23 in Matthew Golden, and then going and making an absolutely franchise-altering trade, getting Micah Parsons. I mean, Brian Gutekunst said it. It's about time we start competing for championships. And man, this is exactly how you do it. The Packers, in my opinion, are now, with Micah Parsons, they are front runners in the NFC. And they are Super Bowl contenders with the roster that they have with the addition of Micah Parsons. The thought of having Micah in our defense with also guys like Edgerrin Cooper is terrifying. Yeah, that's nightmare fuel. What Jeff Hafley is going to be able to do with Micah Parsons, he's not just a hand in the dirt, go get the quarterback guy. If you remember, Micah entered the league as an off-ball linebacker coming out of Penn State, right? So there's different schematic things that the Packers can do with Micah Parsons. A 4-3 strong side linebacker at the line of scrimmage, or a 4-3 weak side defensive end, hand in the dirt, or even off ball with Edgerrin Cooper running stunt on a double A gap. Like, there is so much the Packers can do now that they have Micah Parsons on this roster. And that also then includes Rashawn Gary, what they can also do with him. And year 3 of Lucas Van Ness seemingly was taking a jump up. So now that Lucas Van Ness is third in that order, you know, this is a change of pace guy. Like, we have so many pass rushers that we can plug in at any moment. If Rashawn Gary needs a breather, if Parsons needs a breather. And here's the thing with most Packers edges, just like Rashawn Gary, he only took 59% of snaps last year in 2024, whereas Micah Parsons with the Dallas Cowboys last year took 82% of snaps. So I think the Packers, obviously the money that you're paying him, put him on the field like as much as possible. The Packers do like to rotate their edges around, but you keep Micah Parsons on the field no matter what. If you still want to rotate Lucas Van Ness in for Rashawn Gary for change of pace, keep both players fresh, that's such a great positive to have. So the next thing I want to talk about is what are the Green Bay Packers now going to do at defensive tackle? We know Kenny Clark was slated to be our starting nose tackle here in 2025, and we've moved him around. This is why I have so much respect for Kenny Clark. Anytime we need him to play a role, he had no problem doing it, and a lot of the time did a great job at it. Throughout his career, he's played 3-4 defensive end. He's played 3 tech. He's played nose tackle. Like, he's pretty much played almost every position on that defensive line outside of an edge rusher per se. So now we rotate into who's going to be playing nose tackle for the Green Bay Packers. We know Devontae Wyatt slated to be that 3-tech defensive tackle. Kenny Clark was supposed to be nose tackle. And here's the thing, and this is also why I think the Packers held 6 defensive linemen. They were preparing for this, the potential of losing Kenny Clark and offering him in the trade for Micah Parsons. But we got Warren Brinson, we have Nazir Stackhouse, and Colby Wooden put on weight and was playing the nose tackle role throughout preseason and actually doing a really good job. Warren Brinson can play both. He can play 3-tech, he can play nose tackle, and obviously Nazir Stackhouse can play nose tackle. He played it on Georgia. He's a gap-filling, people-moving defensive lineman, and he's more of a traditional nose tackle than Kenny Clark is. So I think the Packers overall will be fine at the position. I would rather them have star pass rushers and fill in defensive tackle / nose tackle than the other way around. Because if you have star pass rushers, your whole defense becomes better. This trade literally just made the cornerback room better, because if you rush the passer well, your cornerback room is going to perform a lot better, because if you get to the quarterback quickly, you fluster the quarterback consistently, it's going to make your defense, your pass defense, look that much better. And that's why it's so important to have as many pass rushers as possible. I always say it here on this channel, you can never have enough. And now the room of Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, Edgerrin Cooper also getting after the quarterback. I mean, I really don't know how teams are going to game plan for this, and I love every second of it. So now I want to go over the salary cap implications for Kenny Clark being traded away. As we know, Kenny Clark had a pretty massive deal, and honestly, it was a deal that I was looking forward and going, it's going to be kind of a difficult one to get out of. It's very expensive. They might have to move on sooner rather than later. So to me, it's a win-win. Again, full respect to Kenny Clark. I hope he has a wonderful career, finishing career over there in Dallas. But looking at the evaluation here, this is from Ken Ingles, awesome guy. Go give him a follow on Twitter for the Packers salary cap updates. Kenny Clark's 2025 cap hit pre-trade was set to be $20.4 million. Post-trade, it's now down to $18.1 million. So the Packers only save, roughly $2 million off the cap here in 2025. Kenny Clark's cap hit pre-trade in 2026 was slated to jump up to $31.4 million. And that's why when I was looking ahead at it, I was like, that's going to have to change. In 2026, when I was looking at the salary cap, looking ahead, it's like that's not going to fly. That's not going to stay the same. Now it drops all the way down to $17 million. Now that's still a lot of money for a player that's not on your team, but something was going to give anyways. And the fact that we have Micah Parsons for something that we probably would have taken a dead cap for anyways is absolutely insane. Then in 2027, still under contract, the last year of his deal, he was slated to have a cap hit of $27.1 million, and that will drop to zero. Nothing on the books in 2027. So yeah, the Green Bay Packers won't have a first-round pick the next 2 seasons. I don't even mind it. I really, really don't. The Packers are habitually great drafters in the middle round. Brian Gutekunst is a phenomenal drafter in rounds 4, 5, 6, right? Where he struggles sometimes is the first round. I think that's going to be different this year, which makes this final first-round pick until 2028 even better. The fact that it's Matthew Golden, because I believe he's going to become the #1 wide receiver on this football team. The fact that the Packers didn't have to give up any more draft capital, no second rounders, no 4th or 5th rounders, just makes this trade even better, because those are great draft picks for Brian Gutekunst. And we could pick up another middle round pick by trading away someone like JJ Enagbare, who is at this point pretty expendable. The Packers also drafted 2 edge rushers in this past draft, and Barron Sorrell and Colin Oliver, and they still have Brenton Cox Jr. on the roster. So they have so many pass rushers. Packers at this point. I think they should try to shop JJ Enagbare. I would rather keep Brenton Cox Jr. on the roster. And then, of course, you're not going to get rid of either of the rookies, Colin Oliver starting on the year on the PUP anyways, and Baron Sorrell showed a lot of potential. But now it's kind of like, okay, Baron Sorrell, even when healthy, might not get many snaps due to how loaded and stacked this defensive end room is now. Overall, this is a franchise-altering move for the better or for the worse, and I think it's going to be the former, but this is going to define Brian Gutekunst's career as Packers GM. This is a career-changing move, and who knows if it was because of Ed Policy stepping in after Mark Murphy, maybe putting a little bit of pressure on Gutekunst, or if it was simply just a predetermined thing in Gutekunst's mind after saying, hey, we need to start competing for championships, and I need to be a GM that's competing for championships. Go and get Jordan Love a weapon in the first round. Go make a career franchise-altering trade with one of the best defensive players in the NFL and a future Hall of Famer in Micah Parsons. Guys, I am beyond ecstatic for this trade. It still doesn't feel real. I keep pinching myself. Like I said, I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, like that was a dream. Like I just dreamt that the Packers actually traded for Micah Parsons because there's no way. Opened up the phone, everything was still there. And I was just in awe, just sitting there in awe, just staring at the fact that I'm looking at a picture of Micah Parsons in a Green Bay Packers jersey, looking at all the videos of him celebrating his new contract, looking at all the news, the articles, the other NFC North fans in shambles and now backtracking. Oh, we're not worried about it. Oh, it's not it doesn't matter. Like, oh, we're not worried about it. Yeah, you are. Every other NFC North fan should be worried about it because Micah Parsons on the Green Bay Packers is absolutely insane, given that our defense already was a top 10 defense last year. I mean, imagine the heights it can get to now. I mean, this team is Super Bowl or bust at this point. Now that they made this move, they don't have first round draft picks for the next 2 years. This is now a Super Bowl or bust team. I mean, it always has been, but we've kind of always been that slight step down from the top contenders in the NFC the past few years, right? We haven't won the division since 2021. That's coming back this year. The Packers are going to win the NFC North. I know this is all recency bias due to this trade, but we have every right to. We have every right to be considered the favorites in the North, the favorites in the NFC, right there with the Philadelphia Eagles now. Just absolutely mind-blowing and insane. I'm glad I'm finally able to come on here and just talk about it. I didn't have a real direction of breaking a ton of stuff down, but I just wanted to go over the contract, the salary cap now with Kenny Clark over in Dallas, what this means for the Green Bay Packers defense. Simply just come on here and talk about this insane event, this insane trade that happened yesterday. When the full contract details come out, I'll make another video breaking it all down for you guys and what it looks like in future years, who's the free agents and players that they're probably not going to be able to retain due to paying, Jordan Love a ton of money, now Micah Parsons a ton of money. It's going to change some things in the future. But right now, that's all we have to worry about is right now, what the roster is right now. And it's a very good roster, and it just got 10 times better. But those are my instant thoughts, reactions, breakdown, whatever you want to call it, on Micah Parsons being a Green Bay Packer. I just can't stop saying it. Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. Really appreciate you guys coming by. Let's get to week one. I want to see Micah Parsons sack Jared Goff 3 times. I would love to see it. Jared Goff is not good under pressure. I think he had a 74 passer rating under pressure last year compared to his over 100 passer rating while clean. So excited for week one. Really appreciate you guys coming by to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, go Pack Go.